What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tastes Like Music. Jason and Joe here. Album of the week, episode 4. This week's pick coming from Vanessa. Vanessa's our Discord moderator and very well known among our community. She's chosen a record from 1978 called Music and Dreams by Robert Lester Folsom. This is an interesting one because it was a private press, just kind of released locally. He's from southern Georgia. I guess it got a little press down there at the time of its release, but then, you know, as those type of things do, it kind of faded away. He basically retired from music and was just raising his family and not paying much attention at all. And then somehow, I don't know the full story, but the record resurfaced. Light in the Attic reissued it. I think around 2010 or 2011 is when the record was rediscovered. So now it's on streaming services. We can all hear it. That's the record this week that we're talking about. What do you think of it?
Well, it's an interesting record. I haven't heard too many of these private press records. A lot of these records are interesting because they sound really good. Like even that, they didn't have a label attached to it. It was just like the producer that was hanging around. He hung around like a studio down in Georgia or wherever he was, South Georgia College, Valdosta, somewhere in Georgia. He was hanging around a music studio and he had a band, and eventually, he got in there and recorded some stuff with them. And I don't know, it's interesting because these records sound so good. Like you'd never in a million years know that this is like some dude with, whoever, like not named players. If you listen to this and it sounds like, Bread or America. The acoustic guitars sound great. There's a bunch of like fuzzed out electric here, some nice organ work. And, I think it sounds great. The album itself sounds wonderful. And what that all is leading to is I kind of see why it wasn't successful and didn't break out because the songs themselves, they're very much, he's like 5 or 6 years out of date with this. This is like 1972 type of AM Gold. And he kind of just seems like he's extending that genre maybe a little too far into the late 70s. It's nicely played, well produced, AM Gold soft rock that 6 years out of date with lyrics that sort of, there's nothing too incisive or profound here, I don't think. A lot of songs just kind of cutesy and nice, but nothing really sticks out. There's like a haze of psychedelia on a track like Ginger. I just don't really remember anything about the album after you're done listening to it. It kind of goes in and it sounds nice and it goes out, and nothing really stuck with me. I thought Jericho was the best one. It has a nice lively organ, some synchronized fuzz guitar leads. It's also the track with the least amount of singing on it. And he has an okay voice, nothing special. He doesn't do anything, that really stands out. And Jericho's the one that, mostly instrumental. So that stood out to me as the best track on the album, kind of says what I think about it. My Stove's on Fire is good too. Has some clavichord and organ in there. I think as a whole, it's just missing like a standout thing that he does really well. I think everything's done nicely. The songs are nice. The playing is nice. The production is nice. But I don't think he was like some, he's not like a Gene Clark where his genius was, you know, shoved aside by the evil record companies or an uncaring public or something. He's just he's a bedroom pop guy who had a decent album in the 70s, but that's kind of the end for me. I'm not like clamoring for more records from him or more songs, but it was a totally pleasant experience. For the 70s, it doesn't, stand up to its contemporaries though. So I think 3.5 stars is good for an album like this.
All right. Well, I mean, I think everyone was guessing that I was going to love this, and I do like it a lot. It's right in my wheelhouse. Sonically, this is the sound that I most like. Basically, I hear the sound of those instruments and the warmth of the recording, and I'm automatically in on it. Yeah, I think the song, I actually think the songs, I heard a lot of people saying like, well, the lyrics aren't profound or they're not deep enough, or but I still think it's good songwriting. I think the arrangements are really good. Vocally, maybe where he has a little bit of a shortcoming. I think he's a good singer, maybe even a very good singer, but he's not quite great. Like, I don't think he stacks up to thinking of like other artists who are kind of underappreciated in their time, like Chris Bell from Big Star, or Duncan Brown, or Keith Cross, Peter Ross. I don't think he has as much emotionality in his voice, even though it's not a bad voice to listen to. Yeah, and as I often am, I'm most drawn to the ballads here. I like some of the slower stuff like April Suzanne, Weeping Willow Tree, I like a lot. Brown Eyed Lady with the blonde hair, Show Me to the Window, Please Don't Forget Me. I like all those songs a good bit. My Stove's on Fire, like you said, is pretty cool. Nice, upbeat, catchy tune. Little clav on there, a little bit funky. For me, the weak link might be the second track, Ginger. It's kind of cool, but I don't know. It's kind of gets a little too psych for me or something. Yeah, it's kind of hazy. A lot of jazzy chords on this record as well. A lot of that kind of the chords and the way the songs are written remind me mostly, and his voice a little as well, kind of recall Bob Welch for me. I got a lot of Bob Welch here, so I did enjoy it a lot. I like it a little more than you, I think. Even though I get some of your criticisms, it's just a sound I really enjoy. So it's actually a high 4. I considered 4.5, couldn't quite get there. But yeah, very strong for me. 4 stars.
Well, it's a good sound. Can't deny the sound of the record and the playing and everything.
It is pretty shocking how good it sounds. Like I need to find out more about the how it was actually made and like the budget and stuff that went into it, because it sounds, as good as anything from the early 70s. It does sound, I agree with you. It sounds more early 70s, but at the same time, there are touches of like yacht rock that come in where you kind of get some sense that it is actually the late 70s with some of like the weird synth sounds and stuff that are on the record. Pretty cool record. Interesting choice. I dug it. If you heard the record, let us know what you think of it. If you go check it out after this, stop back and leave us a comment. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, check Patreon in the video description, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.